Bam, 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 bam. We love. Oh, we got one person here. Can you hear me, person? One person. If you can, let me know. So, what we got going on? You know, nothing's going on with Catalyst right now. So, it's no news. No news is good news, I guess, right? So, we're still waiting for them to come up for air from the. We're still waiting for them to come up for air, during Gen Con, post Gen Con, because we're not likely to see anything from them. I think we've already showed off the BattleTech Third Star League Lance pack, so there's nothing going on there. Oh, why? Oop. I'm spoiling things. Okay, here we go. So let's wait a few more minutes, see some more people hop in. Um, Meanwhile, if you guys want to throw me any questions in the chat while we're waiting for people to pop in, we'll give it another 5 minutes or so. Let people join in because I'm early and I'm paranoid, and I wanted to make sure the stream works because I'm paranoid. So, ooh, 4 people already. Holy cow! Thanks, guys. Um, I'm trying to be more consistent in my streaming. So I think Wednesdays at this time slot, I think this is going to be my time. So if anybody has any thoughts, drop them in the chat. Throw me a like, throw me a subscribe if you're not subscribed already. You probably are. So, you know, either way. So waiting for people to join. I actually wanted to. One of the first things I wanted to do. Let's see. God, here's a thing that I wish is going to happen. So this clip from Gundam UC, the channel Gundam UC. Uh, this is what everybody wants the new Gundam game to be like. The new tabletop game, that Gundam Assemble game from Bandai, they want it to be. Everybody knows it's not going to look like this. It's not going to be this good, and that kills me to say that because I really want it to be good, but I don't think it's going to be as good as we want it to be. So there was, let's see, I don't know, but yeah. Also, if you've never watched Eighth MS Team, watch it. It's Vietnam War Gundam, which is five. It's, if that doesn't sell it, I can't sell this. I guess if nobody wants to watch, you know, Mobile Suit Gundam in Vietnam, I guess I can't help you, Chief. So good evening, Gavin Kennedy. Good evening, Knight of Rome. It is amazing. So we're just gonna watch. We're just gonna watch this preview because I don't want to get I don't want the YouTube algorithm bot to slap my penis. So we're just gonna watch it with no audio. So, but yeah. Good evening. Good evening. But yeah, this is the tabletop game everybody wants that we're not gonna get, and I feel like we're probably gonna get something that's gonna end up feeling like. I bet the tabletop game Bandai is gonna be putting out is gonna be something, some sort of uh, bootleg Gundam X-wing the miniatures game feeling thing. I bet that's what's gonna happen. So um, we'll get a couple more minutes and we'll get wound up and we'll get started. Mostly, I think we're gonna cover the big guys that have been kind of making shaking and moving this this last week or so have been, obviously James Workshop. They did their Friday preview thing, which I don't think I touched on it briefly on my last stream, because it didn't happen then, but now it's happened and we can go over what they're seeing. So Gavin, yeah, I absolutely want those models. There's been a few people that. Oh, dude, yeah, exactly. So apparently there's the card game out right now, right? So there's the Gundam assemble. So there's the Gundam TCG, and apparently you could have gotten. I looked everywhere. Apparently those boosters sold out instantly, where they were like, hey, we can, basically the miniatures were attached to it, and you could use them as like card markers or something, but they weren't actually used in the game or something like that. So you could get those, and I did see some people building those, and they look like quick little like 3 or 4 piece snap fit models. They look fine. They look pretty sharp, pretty detailed. The Xeon stuff especially looks like you can, you know, get more uh, get more get more variety if you kind of do some head swaps and stuff. I just want to know how many more Catalyst products will get delayed, even more the DC mech packs and the newest Barnes and Noble pack, let alone everything else. Dude, I have given up on Catalyst's ability to predict when things are going to happen. So I'm just like, so it's like I'm just letting it happen as it happens. So I bet we're going to get some of this stuff. So I bet we're going to get some of this stuff starting, late. I always assume basically it's going to be a quarter or two fiscal quarter or two later than they say it's going to be. And I think that's safe. That's a safe assumption. So, all right, 7:05. So let's take a look here. So obviously, Games Workshop had their big summer preview. Not a whole lot of big surprises here. They kind of slow rolled a bunch of stuff that I think. Was annoyed with third Star League packs. They sell it, and my LGS can only get it earliest a month later. Yeah, no. So I was talking to Derek from Aries Games and Miniatures, the owner of that. He's basically having the same issue where they're kind of lagging on distribution to get to LGSs, so that the Catalyst store has that pack almost. He didn't explicitly say this, but I surmise this is what they're doing because that makes sense. Where Catalyst's putting out the pack, and then they're going to have uh, the pack, but they have an exclusive for a certain amount of time before it hits other retailers, so they can capture more sales at full MSRP. That would be my guess. So, all right. So let's take a look at so we got the big Warhammer preview. So this is just kind of the splash page, went over everything. So kind of going backwards to front because that's how I have my tabs laid out. So the first thing is they're bringing us Kill Team. They're bringing us Death Watch Kill Team, all Primarisized with really nice embossed shoulder pads and guys with all the different Gucci gear, um, versus Necrons. So I used to play Necrons, right, for Games Workshop's Warhammer 40,000 in third edition. I really liked the Eldritch Terminator vibe that they had. It was very simple. It was easy to decode. The Egyptian read on their Egyptian, their undead Egyptian space read, kind of pastiche wasn't so over the top or prevalent. But once they did that, fourth edition, fifth edition, I want to say is when they finally got that codex. And now I'm looking at how they're able to play with the miniatures in the negative space, like this. It looks like he's hovering around this. He's clambering around this hovering obelisk, even though it's kind of like connected to him via a few touch points. Just the use of negative space on these models and just how crazy and strange the sculpts are. I hate GW from as a business. That I think this is something that I think a lot of fans will say is that the worst part of Warhammer 40K, the worst part of Warhammer in general is Games Workshop. And but man, they make some fantastic looking models. The terrain looks really sharp. Um, I kind of question why they went for kind of the sandstone. Well, I guess I won't zoom in anymore. Why is kind of the sandstone look to the tomb? Maybe it's just like the old stuff is sloughing off and revealing the Necron, Blackstone underneath. So of course, you get the book, you get the cards, you get that. So, yeah, no, Tamiya Extra Thin. If you've never used Tamiya Extra Thin glue, that is your friend, Knight of Rome, because that stuff's like Frank's Red Hot. I put that shit on everything. Because the hold is incredible, and the thing about these, what I've noticed, at least from I've assembled a few odds and sods of GW stuff, is even the delicate stuff is deceptively resilient. So especially if you use like a proper super glue and you don't use that Tester's non-toxic, yeah. Let's just see. So what's that stuff, Testers? No glue. Yeah, here we go. Here we go, dog. Yeah, it's like, hey man, can I get that shit that I'm going to use too much of and ruin half my model? I remember this when I was a wee lad. Also, shout out the one of the apparently the founders of Tamiya. He passed away. The old boy himself. So shout out to Tamiya and Testers for helping me get my glue sniffing addiction. So okay, now we're back. All right. Sorry about that. That was a little touch and go. Got the screen freeze going on. So, anyways, so the next thing up is the literally who asked for it thing is the wearable helmets. Which, if you guys have seen the video from Galactic Armory on YouTube, Games Workshop has actually sent them a cease and desist, telling them, "Hey, we're trying to make money off of this now. You need to knock it off." So I find that really unfortunate. Again, scummy GW. Again, GW being the worst part of the Warhammer hobby. But yeah, it's looking good. Somebody in chat, let me know you can still hear me. Okay. No. All right. Cool. All right. All right. Sweet. So, yeah, I don't know what happened. I think I was asking the poor pew pew here to do too much. So, anywho, we got the champions of the first founding. Basically, they primarisized a bunch of the Space Marines, and you have Vulcan Heston, who I think is the big winner out of all these guys because he looks amazing. His original model was just so solid, and you can't really improve upon it perfection. Same thing with Lysander, Darnath Lysander. Again, looks amazing. Simply a glow up, re-inspiration of his original model. He looks amazing. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And then I don't know, man. I'm calling balls and strikes here, and I'm thinking this is a miss for GW. I'm not. I know there's a lot of people that are just glazing this model like it's a Krispy Kreme donut, but I'm just not with it. I feel like it's got too much going on. I think it looks. I think certain elements look really cool. I actually like this head where he's got the My Chemical Romance uh, hat or hat hair. Um, but I kind of like the. It's like I like individual elements of the miniature, but it's just all together. It's just like this is too much fucking about. Um, so moving swiftly along, Canuck Var. He's a Iron Hands Iron Priest or something like that. I like this model. I like the Is that a Tetsubo? The powered Tetsubo, basically, which is a giant sword club thing. And he's so roided out on cybernetics that he's able to swing it one handed, which is horrific. Um, it looks really. I like it. It's very Iron Hands. It's very the fact that it's got the little servo skull with a little faux hologram on there. I think that's a really neat touch. So this guy's 10 out of 10. Suboden Khan. Where are my jet bikes, GW? Where are my jet bikes? Um, more of a White Scars weapon. Well, so the White Scars have always been they've always been kind of like Mongol coded, right? Because that's whose last name is Suboden Khan. Come on. So this is more of, and Tetsubo is more of a, if I believe, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong. It's a Japanese weapon, So um, with this makes more sense. He's got a jet bike with a Gatling gun on the front. He's got a giant power lance. He's got the horsehair tails and head strapped to his side of his jet bike. He looks amazing. So I'm digging it. I'm with it. And then we get all new combat patrols because Space Marines, they just don't get enough support. They gotta. So you get the fact they give you the Doom buggy with the multi melta, and then the dudes with the flamers, and then some assault intercessors, and then some heavy armor guys, and then a captain or a lieutenant. And then you get some more of these dude bros. I actually think this is actually pretty good because that's an intercessor squad, a terminator squad, and then like a command squad. That's actually pretty good. White Scar is great because they finally got a bike character. Yeah, apparently with the Warhammer 30K, the Horus Heresy, they took away Jagatai Khan's special bike that he had access to. Because I guess that's fuck White Scars, I guess. um, Next is you have the Raven Guard with I'm so sneaky, hee warsuit, jump jet Marines, jump jet captain, and the intercessor Reaver dudes, infiltrators. Then you get these guys with two of the cannons, the static cannons, and then a bunch of guys in heavy intercessor armor and a tech marine. So, and then you get 3 bikes, squad. You get the Primaris technical hover technical, and then you get the guy on the jet bike, the special character in the jet bike, which is kind of an odd thing. With it's kind of a fuck you to again White Scars. It's like, hey, you see this new character? You like this new character? You want to buy this character? Well, go fuck yourself. Pay me. Pay me $170 for the rest of these models you probably either have or don't want. So I don't know. All right, so GW being GW, and then next, we have the big question: what happens after the Horus Heresy? You have the Scouring, which, me personally, I think that's where they're gonna. That's the next frontier for Warhammer, their Warhammer Horus Heresy game. I feel like that is eventually going to turn into a Scouring game based on the Scouring, and I think we're going to get some support for that game for the Scouring. What do I have support this? Nothing. Complete tinfoil hat theory. Don't listen to me. I'm insane. So, anyways, this is basically the what happens next. The Emperor is interred on the Golden Throne, and who amongst this pack of morons gets to run the show. So that's going to be another giant, like 80-90 book compilation filled mess that they're going to have to unscrew in probably another decade. And then speaking of Horus Heresy, Mark II assault armor. So these are the guys in the Crusade armor, but they have jump packs and they have chain axes as default. So this model, so from what I'm seeing with this from the text description, is they're like, hey, these guys default have chain axes, which apparently rules wise don't cost any points to change to. So they have chain axes or they have two-handed chain axes, right? So that's like, okay, that's cool. That's lovely. And then of course they get the cool not riot shields. What do they call them? Combat shields. That's duh. Okay. And the thing that makes me laugh is oh, don't worry. If you want to use chain swords, just buy the melee option expansion. So it's like, so I gotta spend $70 on 10 of these guys. And I'm gonna go find this rarest rocking horse shit melee weapon upgrade and slap all those on these guys instead. It's like, come on, GW, what are you doing? What they should have done is they should have given these guys chain swords to start with, and include the chain axes in the special weapon set. But no, that would make too much sense. And then basically hey, all those new minis we're going to get you. This is how we retcon them in. So it gives you stuff like command squads. It gives you unique formations for the various different legions. So yeah, Saturnine Command Squad, Centurion and Saturnine Armor, Freitas Anointed Conclave. So basically, evil word bearer Saturnines, which, not gonna lie, that's kind of drippy. That paint scheme is kind of drippy. So, so moving right along. And then we get Legions Imperialis. They don't come in a box that take away the rules unless it's the Terminators, Palpers. Exactly. Yeah. So the fact that they still sell the Tartarus kits, and then they're like, but hey, it's still in the legacies. It's like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? So Legions Imperialis, this game, the little game that could. So this is the 8 mil epic kind of esque game. So you're getting the 2 Mastodon assault transports. So which are going to be should be fairly beefy miniatures, even at this scale. You get the Whirlwind Scorpius, you get the Vindicators, so your Rhino chassis based stuff. There's going to fling artillery and huge shells. You're going to get the Cerberus tank destroyer and the Typhon, which are basically a tank hunter and siege busters, respectively. And then you're going to get the Liber Strategia, which I like this because they basically conglomerate. They took all the rules that they had in these little pissant little supplements all over the place, And what they did is they lumped it into a single book as like a big campaign supplement. Now, to me, that signals they are done with this game because they did the exact same thing with Adeptus Titanicus, which is they had like a campaign compendium that is like, okay, boom, this is the book. We're done. We're done with the rest of this. This is the book. And then you have, or this is the game rather. So this is this. If you're going to play Legions Imperialis, you buy this book and you're set for life. Because we're not going to touch this again until if when more likely if it gets a new edition. So, pardon me. And then you get the formation cards, which basically gives you a visual aid for helping your army building. Oh yeah, and plastic token sets. So the tokens. This was a big complaint that I had heard is that the token sets were kind of dog. They were like this really thin, flimsy cardboard. So you had people struggling to figure out, okay, how do I make these more durable? Like putting them in coin protectors, coin collector protectors, or something like that. So they're doing it hard plastic. So it's like, thanks GW, you gave me another thing to paint. Thanks. And then who plays this game? Warhammer Underworlds. They keep supporting it. I've not heard anything bad about it. I've not heard anything good about it. The miniatures look incredible. I don't know. Your guys' guess is as good as mine. So they've got, the elf centaurs versus the chaos dwarves. I don't care what stupid what stupid name they gave these guys for Age of Sigmar. They're chaos dwarves. Just stop lying. Stop with the lies. You're not fooling anybody. Like Kill Team, but Age of Sigmar. Yeah, but it's got like card play and stuff, and it has like card flopper mechanics. I'm so confused by it. And apparently they're going to release some other teams to go with it. So some more Sigmarines. You get some more elves of. See, this is the other thing, right? So this is the other thing. In Age of Sigmar, there's like 50 different types of elves now. We used to have wood elves, high elves, dark elves. Boom, that was it. Now we have like the elves with like that are riding sharks. Then we have the witch elves, and then we have these elves, and then we have the morally ambiguous spectrum elves. It's like what? High elves, dark elves, wood elves, simple as. Bring it back. Then you get the Starblood Stalkers. You get the Lizardmen, which I think look fantastic, and I hope some mad lad figures out a way to get this snuck into games of Warhammer, classic Warhammer Fantasy. And then Elathane's Soul Raid. Yeah, and then we have more elves. These are like the sea elves, and these are like we have a crab, we have a floating lionfish. Why? Don't know. This guy's got a spear. This chick's got a shield and spear. This dude's got a net, and he's got a little sneaky snake. So it's like, what y'all are trying to do too much with elves. Just stick some flavor to the picks with. See, look, assassin rats. Eshin Skaven. Simple as. That's very Mordheimish. And then you have the Neural Spirit Pack. So these are some sort of like wild chaos worshippers, I'm betting. And then you have, the body positivity group from Slanesh. And then you have the worm spat. Then you have the beautiful at any size team from Nurgle. So cool. And then you got Spooky Scary Skeletons Part 1, Spooky Scary Skeletons Part 2, Spooky Scary Skeletons Part 3, and the wow, I can't believe it's not butter crowd of crazy undead. And then you have, it looks like they're just kind of bringing back all the teams they had and like just re-releasing them. So You get the troll and his dudes. You get the night goblins. You get the um, ogre kingdoms, and these are really good models. I wish they would just allow you to bring them into like Warhammer Fantasy. You have to deal with these ancient flipping things. So, oh, it has seasons. Well, I guess Kill Team has seasons. So I don't know. I have like the older starter box, the one with the spooky scary skeletons and the Sigmarines in it. I don't understand it. I couldn't begin to tell you how to play it. So I think one of these days I'm gonna have to knuckle down and play it. And then yeah, they brought back Chaos Dwarfs because I'm not calling them whatever the hell they think they're gonna call them. So overall, these models look spectacular. I think they capture the Chaos Dwarf vibe really well. Um, I think it's funny. They're like, look, this is diverse. This is a female. Yes, because I'm sure most females want to play a greedy, vengeful enslaver. What was GW trying to say by this? So there's that. So again, the miniatures look spectacular. Yeah, I wish they were in Warhammer Fantasy too. It makes no sense that they're not. They have the Grot Slave, the Hobgrot Slave, the Hobgoblin Slave. The miniatures look fantastic. The War Machine looks great. I wish they would bring back the Hell Cannon. Bring me back the Hell Cannon. Although this thing, the Dominator engine, almost makes up for it. This is spectacular. And I think this is one of the things that I think that Age of Sigmar does really well is when Games Workshop goes into the centerpieces of these armies that haven't had like a book before, like these guys. It's all gas, no brakes, and they just come up with some insane nonsense. Yeah, they have the Fire Slayers. They have the whatchamacallit, the Fire Slayers, and Air Pirates of Tomorrow. Those guys. So, uh, and then we're gonna get another of a Demon Smith. So he's gonna the way he's like reading his spells off of like hammered copper sheets or like sheets of jade, and it's got this creepy like tripod leg thing that probably moves because it's demonically possessed. There's just woof, there's just so much flavor. And then of course the incredible thing too is based off the exact same model, you get this dude with completely different vibe. The shorter, kind of tassels, the shorter beard. He's got the thing. His skin's starting to petrify. He's got a sick hammer. Um, the bull centaurs, absolute cinema. 10 out of 10. No 10 out of 10. No notes. And of course, you get two flavor of these. You get the standard, standard bull centaurs, and then you can kind of take them as like these temple guardians, where they've got no shirt on, they've got these bull helmets on, and they've got these great weapons, kind of like they're doing the what's that creature from not Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, Leonid, whatever. Um, and of course, you get your gunline guys, you get your blunderbusses, and then some flamethrowers, some demonic flamethrowers, which again look fantastic. And then you get Hobgrot Vandals, so you have your Hobgoblin slaves uh, that are basically they have a shield, and if they're lucky, maybe a little bit of armor, but they're armed with like picks and like mining shovels and a few like hand axes, so they're not in great shape. And then this thing is incredible. The Uruk Tar, this special character, you can also use as just so he's got this cascade of spells going on, and it's framed beautifully by the giant bronze wings or brass wings and this giant brass bull and the burnt tree stumps that are organized and kind of laid out like a 8 points of a chaos star. all killer, no filler. And then you have kind of this version where they went like a full stone, kind of like Jade look for it for your generic demon smith. Is it demon smith? Yeah, demon smith. So yeah, chaos dwarves, or whatever the hell they're calling them these days. So, um, 10 out of 10. And then we're getting the new flesh eaters with only one character. So he knows they're doing the thing with Age of Sigmar that they're doing with Warhammer 40K is like they have these armies that they started and they're like, oh, these have like next to no sales velocity. So we're going to write the players of that faction an alimony check in the form of a single new plastic character. So you get and maybe a new combat patroller, the spearhead, I guess is what they call it. The Night Haunt. This guy actually looks really neat. I've always liked the Night Haunt miniatures. I've assembled a few of them. I think they're amazing from a manufacturing point of view and like an aesthetic point of view. The use of negative space in the miniature itself is really crazy. Um, so again, 10 out of 10. Love these guys. Then you get the Cursed Shackle Horde, um, which actually looks kind of crazy, bro. I'm not gonna hold you up. So yeah, that that looks pretty promising for if you're an Age of Sigmar Death player, specifically those two armies. Now, the thing that blew my rocked my socks is that they had the they actually started brand new model support for Age of Warhammer: The Old World. So these are hard plastic models with a bunch of different options. So you get a Herald or a Tomb Prince, and then you get the Lich priests either mounted or on on foot. And again, you have this guy. He's like casting an incantation, and the scroll looks like it's just floating in front of him, which I think is amazing. And then you get like a little book for both that and also uh, the Cathay forces, which looks really good. And then last but not least, the kind of the who gives a shit for me is the Leagues of Votan, aka they're totally not the squats, guys. We promise they're not the squats. Please stop calling them the squats. So these guys I don't really have a lot to say. These guys they don't they don't do anything for me. So the Leagues of Votan. So that being said, this was kind of a surprise. So Atomic Mass Games, they have been refreshing the range for Star Wars Legion in hard plastic, which I didn't think they would do because they were on this really hard push to push their their Star Wars Shatterpoint game. So I just thought that this was going to again, this would turn into one of those alimony things, and eventually they would just come out and say, "Look, guys, we weren't serious about this. We're not going to support this shit anymore." So, but apparently not. This they put in the work. So oddly enough, the transmission they call them transmissions. So like the write ups for these things, but they have them on social media. So this is the Esmode store, and there's a bunch of stuff for pre order. Um, this one blew my socks off because it's like, but why? So you get General Grievous on his wheel bike from, if you remember that, um, from uh, Revenge of the Sith. It looks really good. It looks really sharp. Yeah, a lot of detail on the controls there. Yeah, looks great. What a good looking miniature. Yeah, look at that. Great paint job on it too. So, Atomic Mass Games, they're they're knocking it out of the park. $60, kind of high, but it's full. It's a pretty big unit. It looks like. So I don't know. Um, Ruins of the Sith, Battle of Utapau. Yep, that's right. Because I was. This has been a while. And then they're also doing this thing where you have like customizable. Let's see if I can. Yeah, organize these. So you have customizable, characters or officers for your unit. So to start off with, they have the customizable super tactical command droids. So you have, the two different heads. You get kind of a half cloak. You get two different torsos. You get legs. You can make one of them like a tripod. You can give one of them like a handgun, not like a gun in their hand, but like a literal handgun. You can give them kind of the quarter staff, that electro staff that the other guys use. And then let's see. Then you have this guy who's different torso shape, different head shape, got his add-on. So this is going to come with your unit cards and then like 2 characters, so 13 upgrade cards. So you can actually make your own. So you can actually make your own commander, which I think is really neat. So and then they also did the same thing with the Rebel. So instead of 2 commanders, you get an officer and an agent. So you basically get like a low level commander, and you get all these different parts and alien heads. So that's your kind of your officer, and then you get your kind of your independent agent that kind of runs around doing gangster stuff, kind of gooning mode on people. So which looks really good. And not least, you get a customizable Imperial officer along with an ISB agent. So you get your commander so you get an officer plus an ISB agent, which is kind of like an independent, kind of character type thing that happens in Star Wars Legion. And then last but not least, you get Darth Vader and General Veers. The Darth Vader sculpt is the one that we've seen from the set. Yeah, you know what's hey Gavin, there is. Let's see if I can find. List end games Star Wars RPG. So there is. So if you go here, StarWarsTimeline.net, West End Games, you will find clean PDF scans of all the original books hosted on a Google Drive. Totally legit. They also have everything. I have no idea how this has not been slapped with a copyright PP, slapped in the PP by copyright, but they have it. They have all the Star Wars miniatures rules. They have the how to convert stuff to the D6 miniature rules. It's fantastic. It is. I have no clue how they got away with this. So, Gavin, if you take a look at that, it's again StarWarsTimeline.net/WestEndGames.htm. So this one right here. So I'll actually drop that link in chat, because even if you're not going to use it for like the D6, you can still use it for the RPG, because there's a ton of RPG stuff. I just myself downloading and reading some of this shit, because it's like, wow, that's amazing. And then let's see. So I think that was it. Oh yeah, they're gonna do Heroes of the Rebellion. So see, this is the other thing, is they came out with all these miniatures, and then they kind of like stealth drop some of them. So you get like a 4-pack of Rebel Commander. So you get the Luke Skywalker sculpt from the New Battle Force. You get the kind of the Return of the Jedi Luke. You get Han Solo from Endor. You get Chewbacca, and you get an Endor Leia. So looks great. Miniatures look great. Again, hard plastic, so that's a plus. So again, going back to Darth Vader, before I got sidetracked here, and then we got General Veers, and that comes in a 2-pack. And then apparently what they did is they brought back they brought in some plastic objective markers. So these are all kind of riffs off of set pieces and items that we've seen in Star Wars before. So so you have the little the little teeny ones like the Beskar, kind of the cylinder, the thermal detonator crate, the equipment crate, these various different terminals and stands, and like this hovering shield generator, which just seems extra because it's like you got to include a clear part for it to hover. It's just you're just being extra at that point. So um, shout out to Atomic Mass Games. They killed Star Wars Armada and they killed Star Wars X-wing. I still don't appreciate that, but at the same time, like they're trying to make right. So I really appreciate that about them. And then let's see if we've got anything else going on with Atomic Mass Games. No, nothing, not really. So yeah, Gavin, I was an X-wing player. That's actually how I got back into tabletop gaming a long time ago. I was an X-wing guy. That was my system. So, and the fact that it died on the vine, it still doesn't sit well with me the way it went down. And again, I think it was mostly a business decision on Atomic Mass Games' part because they're like, hey, we want to get out Star Wars Shatterpoint. We don't want to have to deal with the pipeline of these pre-painted, pre-printed, pre-assembled ships and balancing this game that we didn't design. But now that they're designing this game that they're creating this game they've actually designed it balanced for, I feel like their heart's in it because it's all of a sudden it's yeah, it's up to their success. Yeah, I enjoyed Armada. I was not like gaga for it, but like um I was not gaga for it, but at the same time, um it was not to my like. I liked whatchamacallit. I liked uh I liked X-Wing better just because it was not the cognitive load on my smooth monkey brain was not that low, was not that high. So um but yeah, so that's pretty much it. Talked about Star Wars, we talked about, Mantic. They're God bless these guys. I hope that uh just getting the X-wing when they killed it. Oh, isn't that the story? Isn't that always the case? Um, but yeah, so Mantic Games still waiting on the Banished set to come out. I'm still waiting for that to hit my local game store here in the United States. All the pre-orders are shipping out from Miniatures Market, actually, of all places. The game shop that still does events, though. Yeah, you'd be surprised if you go to like YouTube and you watch guys like Krabok who still play Armada and still play X-wing. They still have like a Armada. Yeah, he still does. He still does a bunch of hello there, everybody. Glad to see you streaming ones. I thank you, man. I'm trying to make this a Wednesday thing. I'm trying to make this a Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time thing. Just because I can do it for about an hour. That's pretty sustainable. Like right now, we're just kind of having a waffle and a chin wag about various different stuff. Um, so I appreciate everybody jumping in and watching the content here. If you guys want to support me, you can go to ko-fi.com/Dr. Bonsai, and that would be the best way to help support the cause, so to speak, so I can improve my headphones. I want to be able to do more stuff and have it work a lot better than what I'm doing right now. So um but yeah, so there's sorts of man, what is this cancer? Stop it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing really interesting is going on that pertains to me in the war game space here on YouTube. Um, we talked about the West End game stuff. I'm trying to think of uh, Arc and Ion Radio. Okay, right on. Let's see. Trying to think of anything else that I've missed. So I just store.gamers.com. So we got all the BattleTech stuff that's coming out. See what miniatures they have. Nice. Hello. I wonder. Here we go. Yeah, because this is so. As much shit as I give Catalyst, this is one of the things that I think they do really, really well, which I really, really appreciate. Which is they give you record sheets for free for your most common variants, um, and also the record sheets for all your different boxes and whatnot. I really appreciate that. So let's look at what the third Star League pack is going on. I think we touched on it last. Yeah, it looks like we did touch on it last time, but figure I might as well for completeness here. Kill the last 8 minutes of the stream, and we'll call it quits for tonight. So you get the Jackalope. I guess the Jackalope is a thing. Now I'm curious because I want to see if this thing actually contains a Jackalope. New to old. Oh, damn sure does. All right. I stand corrected. Okay, so Jackalope, which is one of those weird Dark Age mini designs. You get so it's 2 ER medium lasers, an ATM-6. This is a standard. This is Clan Tech. This is all Clan Tech. That's wild. I could have swore this was mixed tech. Okay. Um, ATM-6, two medium lasers, light active probe, and laser AMS. So Scott, this is something that I noticed that they've started adding to these new sheets is total heat dissipation, and then total heat and then dissipation. So this is for weapons only. This doesn't include any movement stuff. So if you were to walk, 8 and still be heat neutral. So that's neat. And you have the JLPKA, which is this is what I was thinking about. This is the mixed deck one. So a 300 XXL because I want to generate at least 2 points of heat while walking and at least 4 while running. And I also want my reactor lining to be made out of tissue paper. So 2 Clantech ER medium lasers, an ATM-6, laser ammo. So basically, this is just swaps it out for it's like less jump jets. Yeah, less jump jets, more speed. That's a terrible configuration. Why would I make that change? What? Who designed this? Why would you? I know why, but why though? Like, there's no reason. It's 8 12 8. Like you can't. Like if you can't, I feel like if you can't get out of trouble with this movement profile, you're definitely not going to have a good time with this one. Like at this point, like it runs so fast. Like just give up the jump jets. Just stop. Don't fight it. Give up the jump jets. Yeah, exactly. I am Belch. That's exactly like why would you? It's a big mystery to me. And then moving right along, you have the Intersphere Standard Tech Havoc, which again was also funnily enough, interestingly enough, a Dark Age mech, Mech Warrior Dark Age Klex mech, and they actually turned this thing into kind of a monster. 4 ER medium lasers, SRM4, and 22 heat sinks. So the 2 tons of SRM ammo seem excessive. 812.5 movement profile. I feel like you could have. I feel like this could have been done better, and I don't know how. But I feel like there's a way, because whenever I see a mech with where the walking and the jump aren't maxed out, like the jump isn't maxed out to the walking, like that bothers me. It triggers my tisms. So I'm like, okay, how can I make this? What can I sacrifice to get this thing the full movement profile that it deserves? But you know, it's got ferrofibrous, it's got endo steel, it's got double heat sinks, it's got an Intersphere XL engine, which is not great, not terrible, but you have the P7, which is hmm, okay, all right. I I think I understand. Okay, so basically, this is the better one. so it gets light ferro, endo steel, 40 medium lasers, 2 one-shot SRM2s, a Bloodhound active probe, and a targeting computer. Good night. And it's got improved targeting short. So if this thing gets within 4 inches, 4 hexes of you, you're gonna have a bad fucking day. So, and it's also got that magical 812.8 movement profile. So it's 280 XL. 280 XL. What the hell did they sacrifice? Was it just the? I think it was just the SRM and the ammo. Huh. Odd, very strange. So, all right, and then you have the charging lunchbox, the hammerhead, 6.8 hardened armor because le funny. Actuator enhancement systems in both legs, streak SRM6, a large pulse laser and a medium laser. So it's just kind of chugs along, just kind of does stuff. It's not great. Hardened armor kills it though, because that should be like a 7.9 movement profile without the hardened, but with the hardened it's a 6.8, which is kind of like, ugh, I don't know. Especially with that loadout, like the pulse laser can reach out and touch you, so can the medium laser. But I feel like if you're doing that, you're doing it wrong because this thing is built to swing on some dudes. Its hands are rated E for everybody. So that one's kind of a mystery to me. I'm still kind of like meh. The Wendigo, which is experimental tech. Interesting. I did not realize it was experimental. So it's got reflective. Boo! Reflective armor. I don't like reflective armor. Boo. 6.9 Streak SRM6, 4 ER medium lasers, a UAC2, LRM10. It's not the worst mech I've seen, but it lives next door to the worst mech, and it calls the cops when it hears loud music. So yeah, I think if you just replace the reflective, this would be like a nasty little skirmisher. I think it's probably fine as it is. It's just like I don't like the fact that the way that reflective armor works is you take more damage. If I remember correctly, you take more damage. Um, oh, does it have a torso cockpit? Oh, it does. Nande. All right. So reflective, it takes additional damage from, I believe, LBX shot. It takes additional damage, basically doubles your damage when you fall. So if you fall in a mech that has reflective armor, it just shatters like glass. So you take double damage when you fall, which I'm not a big fan of. So, um, and it's very skewed towards energy weapons. So, I like this version. It's pretty nice, pretty. This one's pretty nasty. So okay, so this one adds X98. It's got a bunch of improved jump jets, so which is why it's 698. Bunch of medium lasers, small lasers, and ECM. Yeah, yeah, it's nasty. This one's nasty. I like this one. I like that. That's a nasty little slicer. Um, and then the Kintaro. Yes, finally we got the Kintaro, so I can finally recreate my Exodus from Coromir in that first level of Harebrained Schemes BattleTech. Um, it's the Kintaro. What can you say about it? Now, what's this dirty creation? The KTO 22. So it's 5.8.10. So it's got a supercharger. You got a supercharger. Um, 22 double heat sinks, Clan Pharaoh, Case 2, interesting. It's got an Einarch. It's got a Clan SRM6 with Narc ammo, or it's got two Clan SRM6 with Narc ammo and LRM5. Is that LRM5 Clan Tech? Is it not on this record sheet? Shoulder SRM. I'm gonna need Catalyst to go home, get their life together, pray to Jesus, because you gave this thing Clantech SRM launchers, but the one launcher that you could turn into a clan launcher, the LRM5, you don't do it. Lord, why do you test me so? I like the quirks. The quirks are neat. They're something that I feel goes under discussed. But I think this is a stupid choice to make all the SRMs, the dumbfire SRM6s, by the way, not the streaks, but they're narcs, so they're not dumb necessarily. But the fact that the LRM5 isn't a Clantech weapon, which allows it to basically shoot at the same range profile as the SRM6s, I think that's an unfortunate miss. And then the Lament, again, if I remember correctly, another Dark Age MechWarrior clicks. This thing's just nasty. It's just Catapult didn't have weak head armor. Oh yeah, you and my Timberwolf both. But the Lament is nasty. It's 65 tons, 5.8. Airsphere XL engine, but nobody's perfect. 2 heavy PPCs, 3 ER medium lasers, and a radical heat sink system. So it's multi-track, protected actuators, difficult to maintain, non-standard parts, but it's got light Pharaoh, 33 points of armor on the CT alone, which means this thing's you're gonna have to really burrow through even the left and right torso. 22 points of armor, so you're really gonna have to burrow through that thing. I think the only downside is unless you're popping the radical heatsink system, you really can't cycle all these weapons at once. But the heavy PPCs are just nasty, especially if you chain fire. It is pre-painted in the one box. Now, something I figured out, something I realized about those pre-painted miniatures, the basic plastic of the miniature is like a colored plastic, so it's actually not painted. And then you have the various different stripes and details and all the other gubbins that are painted on it. So I bet if you were to throw that in like some what's that LA's most powerful some symbol green or some if you toss it in. There's actually I believe MIG, ammo by MIG Jimenez actually makes a product for stripping plastic miniatures that you can recycle. So basically the thing is you put the miniature in, you put some of the product in a thing, you put the miniature in, you put a lid on it, you come back to it in like 4 hours, you pull the miniature off, you brush all the paint off, and then you strain the chunks of paint out back into the container with the cheesecloth, and you just keep reusing it, which I think is brilliant. So if you're into that kind of stuff, you can get a tailor-made product exactly to do that. Um, so that's that, and then the Lament Mains for a guy named Mains. He's got a C3 Slave, Clantech ERPPCs, improved heavy medium lasers. That's Clantech as well. Reticle heat system. Wow, this is nasty. This is nasty. All right. And then the Excalibur, which I actually really like, which is not in this box. Right? Strike team. So I don't know. Excalibur. So I guess we get the record sheets for the Excalibur. So this is the Star League standard version. And then you get the 2B. So this is the Royal with a Gauss rifle, LRM-20, Artemis 4, AMS. And then you get the Savage Wolf, which again we don't quite have a miniature for. And then the Malice, which we don't have a miniature for yet. And then oh, that's right. They're going to do a more different third Star League box. That's right. That's right. That's why I was wrapping myself around the axle. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand. So, oh, let's see. I didn't realize they were doing more premium miniatures. So I assembled that Stormcrow on Steam, right? And I primed it because I was actually going to paint it. It was the first thing I painted in like literally a year. It's just life has just been insanity, right? So I go into my house. I drop it from about waist height on carpet, and it shatters like glass. And I was like, I just did not understand. So. See, this is the other thing, right? So they're like, yeah, well, we want to do these premiums. It's like, okay, is it going to give me anything different than the existing model? No, you can just pose it. It's like, okay, why would I buy this then? I don't get it. So, yeah, again, this one does not. This version of the Wolverine's got nothing better. It's like, hey, it's more dynamic. It's like, cool story, bro. The Battlemaster maybe has some things because it can put a PPC in both hands. I know I actually had a guy show me his copies of the new battle maps because it's like, oh, that's great. Hey, can I click on this and can I look at it, sir? No, I'm not allowed to see what the contents of this product that you're advertising me. No, okay, I guess I'll just just go I'll go to Frontline Gaming mats and get some mats. Third Star League box is going to be at Gen Con. Who knows for the rest of the world? Yeah, for real. Yeah. So that's kind of an odd choice. So I've actually seen both of these maps from a friend of mine. They just look spectacular. So I think these are going to be a good ad for people that are trying to fight those battles or just want some really challenging terrain to fight on. Maybe for 2026. Let's see. Do I dare do this impression with Red Corsair book from the Assumption of Yeah, that was the only thing about the Battlemaster. So how do I I'm gonna do it. Lauren Coleman. He talks about tariffs all the time. I tell him, Lauren, you should build your miniatures. You should make your miniatures here in the United States. I say we build the best miniatures here in the United States. Look at Monster Fight Club. They do your premium miniatures. I said, Lauren, they're the best. And Lauren said, no, No, we're gonna ship from China. Okay, that's all I got. That's enough of that silliness. Lauren Coleman, he's buying a porch with all this Kickstarter money. Oh man. Uh, but yeah, so hopefully we'll see some more stuff. I don't know if they've given up on the premium miniatures or if they're still kind of churning them out onesie twosies. I would like them to continue that because I thought they had an interesting concept there for a little while because they had like it was like the clan buster and then you had the all these cool unique interesting mechs, right? And you're like, oh, okay, cool. So they're gonna do they had the Grinner, Felon Kell's Grinner Wolfhound. And it's like, okay, that would be really cool. Like, use the premium line to give me like maybe a rare variant that's associated with the character, like Yunlo Wong Centurion that can double up as a Centurion. I think it's Centurion D, the one with the Ultra or with the AC-20, or you could say, or the Red Corsair Battlemaster, or you could have, there's an endless number of special unique mechs that you could have made for the premium line, but instead you just kind of rehashed your original stuff with no real changes to it. So that's my big issue with those miniatures, with the premium line of miniatures as they currently said. Also, they still didn't fix this configuration. This should be over here, and this should be over here. This is inverted. So, um, oh yeah, there's well, like for example, I think it's the Butterby catapult, which replaces both LRM-15s with SRM-6 racks. So you could have had that in a blister for that character, and then you could have had the parts to make to kind of make the Arrow 4 version. And it's like people are like, well, I don't care about the SRM version because how often am I going to use that? But I want that artillery version. Yeah, sign me up. So, but c'est la vie. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. If horse wishes were horses, then beggars would ride. So, but I think that's going to do it for me tonight, guys. Thank you all for coming out again. If you want to continue to support me and stuff that I do, visit ko-fi.com/Dr. Bonsai. Consider making a donation or bought the Iron one before CGL got it. Nice. But again, I want to thank you guys very much, and we're going to try to make this an every Wednesday thing. So, thank you guys very much. You guys have a good night.